Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Boom. Okay. Great. So this is a photo made from within an audience in a, I don't know, reception hall of sort. There may be 100 people in the audience seated at chairs and tables. It could be a seminar. Hard to know. On the stage, on the right side of the photo is a man wearing nice shoes and jeans, a jacket, holding up a guitar, standing there. I don't know if you're in the middle of a song. The audience is kind of all facing you, and it's an interesting. If you think about what that is, that's a really weird sort of moment where you have like a room full of 100 people. They're all looking forward at this one person with a guitar that's making funny sounds,
Yeah.
either coming out of his mouth or coming out of this object, and entertaining them. So, yeah. So this is either speaking engagement or you're just entertaining with a song. What is this?
Yeah, speaking engagement. And I think how you framed the questions in your email, like when I was selecting the pictures, I think it was, one of the frames was like what you're doing now or what drives you now or something. I don't remember how you worded it, but so I wanted to get a picture of me doing what I do now, speak, and I use music because we ride this roller coaster of emotions when I'm speaking, and we cover a lot of topics. We talk about suicide, and we're laughing 1 second and singing, and because I want it to be very memorable for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So when I incorporate music into it, that makes it a little maybe more different than other speakers, and
It's another layer.
exactly.
Sure.
So they're looking at this guy, and I usually start out my keynote presentation with a song. And so they introduce me, and I come out onto the stage with my guitar, and they're looking at their got the programs like, who's this guy? And
Nice.
says like, oh, he was a retired police chief, and watch got some built-in credibility, maybe or maybe not, but sometimes they're forced to be there, like their boss told them to be there, and
Yeah.
I don't remember what audience that one was, but they're all very similar in that they're sitting there. And like you said, it is a weird moment for 60 to 75 minutes. They're watching me, and like, what's he going to talk about? And so I approach those opportunities with reverence because these people are giving up 60 to 75 minutes of their day or afternoon or evening. And I don't want to drop the ball. I'm getting this golden opportunity to share some message that, again, like you and I had talked about, somewhere somebody might really need to hear that right now.
Yeah.
And so I approach each presentation, I approach each podcast interview with the same like mindset of I don't know what I need to hear today. And I just know that I've been given breath and I've been given a voice. And if I can say something or talk about something and you're masterful at this, asking the questions and teasing that out of people. So hats off to you, my brother, for
Oh, thanks.
oh yeah. And your whole mission of this of what did you say, 197 or
episode. Yeah, episode 197. Yeah.
So I mean that's showing consistency. You're showing up and you're doing it, and it's so with that in mind. So I wanted to get a picture of me speaking because that's what's fueling me right now. I'm 57 years old, and I don't see an end to this. I mean, as long as I have breath in my body and I can croak out some words and play that guitar. And music has another way of like looking at a photograph. You can hear a song that will instantly in your mind bring you back to the first time you heard it, your first love, your first heartbreak, whatever. And music has
absolutely
enormous power. And so I start out with an original song called I Am, I Can, I Will. I am.
I love it.
And so then and then I just like tie it all in. And, but it's that that power of the platform, we call it in speaking,
Mm.
that like, man, I don't want to squander this, and I don't want to
Yeah.
just, hurt somebody with my words. I can hurt somebody a lot easier than I can help somebody. And
Yep.
so I'm very deliberate about my mission, my goal, and I want to help. I don't want to knock people down.
What is in the water that you're drinking?
It's
What's with
water, water.
Minnesota, man?
Yeah.
What is in Minnesota?
I don't know, man.
No, you have to talk about that. Sorry. You look, as a person who lives on the other side of the planet. I grew up in Montreal, right? Born in Jerusalem, born in Israel. But there's something really wholesome and so this is the whole thing of service, right? Service is the energy given at 3 feet. Like we say, 1 yard away. It's like service is when you're in front of a person like Norman,
Mhm.
it's just like in that moment where you're just looking at each other, that energy between you two, that is a life changing service or a life changing moment, right?
Right.
And so in that audience, you're on stage and they say, okay, listen, buddy, you have an hour.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And you look at your life and you curate this story that you punctuate with song. And so talk about, so what is the was there a time when somebody from that audience came to you and looked at you, like you were their Norman? They looked at you in the eyes and you did something to them
Mhm.
that just moved their world,
Yeah.
right? So did you have a moment like that?
Every time. So after I've been doing professional speaking for about 6 years now, and after every presentation, at least one person, sometimes there's a line of people that come
Mm-hmm.
up and they just start, bleh, they just start
Yeah.
like dumping on me, and I love it. And I again,
Mm-hmm.
I cherish that because that's telling me that I've been vulnerable,
Yep.
and I don't remember, you mentioned it, but you see people, you have like a sensitivity, I think is the word you used,
Yeah.
to when you see people. And somebody after one of my presentations came up and they told me, they said, you are an empath. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
what now? And so I think, and I know my mom, she instilled that in me, and I think I got some of her DNA, obviously, but she was so good at seeing people, like seeing them, and
Yep.
and whatever it was about them, she could see if somebody was hurting, and she might not have
Mm-hmm.
known what the hurt was, but she had the ability to go up and start, like maybe they needed a hug or a little piece of food or something,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
uncanny. I watched her do that so many times, and I'm thankful that I have some of that in me. That when people come up afterwards, and then they'll start unloading on me these just like traumatic experiences, or like even,
Yeah. Yeah.
sir, I have to tell you, you've changed my life. And I'm like, who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
Why are you
Amazing.
saying that? And but again, it's with humility, and I'm saying, "Oh my gosh," and so usually when I'm on the road and I'm speaking, and I get done speaking, it's emotional anyway, and people come up and they start unleashing, and after about 20 minutes of after everything's done, I'm out. I'm down for the count,
Right.
and I need to recharge, and that's where the
Yep.
introvert in me says, okay, get away from people for a couple hours. And but
Yeah.
it's the older I get, and hopefully as we age, we hopefully get wiser. And but the older I get, and hopefully the more wiser I become, I recognize that each one of us has been given a gift. 100% of us
Mm-hmm.
have some kind of a gift, and we need to share those gifts with somebody else, because squandering them and not sharing our gifts, whatever it is, if our gift is listening, if our gift is a joke, once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, if we're not sharing those gifts, we're doing whoever gave or whatever gave us those gifts a disservice, and we're doing ourselves a disservice. And so that's kind of the mission I'm on. Not kind of, that is the mission I'm on right now, to kind of just be more bold about it, and but
Mm-hmm.
in a subtle way. I don't want to. I don't want to get preachy, and I don't feel like I am getting preachy. So I caution myself on that not everybody's going to have the same political or religious views, and honestly, I want to strip all that away because none of it matters, and I want to get
Hmm.
down to the way my mom did it, and when she would see somebody and she could see it in their eyes or just the way they are carrying themselves, that this person's having a bad day. And when I'm in an airplane, and so when you give me your address, I am going to send you a book, and I'm going to send you one of my challenge coins. And
Okay.
so I'll be on an airplane, and I'll just say, how's your day going? And once in a while they'll be like awful, or they'll start
Yeah.
crying, and then
Yeah.
then I give them a coin, and when they get a
Hmm.
coin and they look at it and they're like, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever done to me.
Yeah.
Well, but again, it all goes back to my mom, and then
Yeah.
I'm sure her mom, and because she got it from somewhere. And
Nice.
when you ask me what's in the water in Minnesota, I don't know that I haven't traveled enough to
Hmm.
to know like what it's like in Hong Kong. I'd love to.
Right. Now, that do I remember her name? I'm really not great with names, but I had a fantastic guest on the podcast, and maybe she's from Minnesota for all I know. She would give out these nuggets of hope, right? So she'd find little pebbles, and then
Yeah,
she'd paint on them nugget of hope, and then she'd walk around the city, and she'd see somebody, and she'd be like, I don't know your story. I don't know what's going on in your life, but this is just for you. Just a little
yeah,
nugget of hope. And yeah, that could totally change a person's life.
yeah.
Tim, respect. I am, I can, I will. I mean, you are, you do, and you did. Like, well done, man.
Thank you,
Love
sir.
it.
Thank you.
Oh, this is so good. Look, it's been a real pleasure. See, already it's been an hour.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity again. Thank you for your service, what you're doing. You're showing up. You're consistent. You're rocking it, man. Good job.
Thank you. Well, look, have a very good evening. So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.